All right. Sultai aggro. So the core of this is Sultai mid-range. You know, got the Wildgrowth Walker package, got some Viviens, got some Krasis, got some fine Finalities. The things that make this deck more aggressive than some of the other Sultai decks that exist in the format is we have both Growth Chamber Guardian and Spawn of Mayhem as ways to push damage through. We've talked about this card being good when it sticks around, and with cards like Fine Finality, it's a little bit more likely to stick around because we can pick it back up after it dies. So we played a little bit of Sultai mid-range yesterday, so I'm interested to see how this variation that's a little bit more aggressively slanted feels compared to the one we played last night. Thanks everyone for hanging out through the end of the day, by the way. Pretty awesome. So I got about 2,000 people in here. This is going to be my last day streaming Standard this week, so the Mythic Invitational is going to be going on twitch.tv/magic the next 2 days, so I'm going to hang out and watch a little bit of that tournament from home. I'm going to stream a little bit of Modern in the mornings, but I'm not going to be doing Standard on Arena competing with that. Remember, if you don't prefer to watch Duo Standard at the Invitational, you're hungry for more of my content, there's probably a good chance you haven't watched all the stuff I've streamed. You can find a ton of stuff on my YouTube channel and my website. Can we talk about the stains that is this Hinterland Harbor? Can we talk about the terrible, terrible stain that is the card Hinterland Harbor, chat? I hope all of you out there feel personally attacked by this Hinterland Harbor, because you should. I know I feel personally attacked by this Hinterland Harbor. Shock Island Mountain. I'm going to keep this. They're probably a Drake's deck. Blue-green is unplayable until Hinterland Harbor comes in foil. I agree. I kind of am inclined to agree. They didn't want the whales to foil their Nexus decks. They want to discourage the... Okay, so we probably need a build-around for all foil cards. That should definitely be a deck that gets built around here sometime soon, right? Replace it with Simic Guildgate. Can't until foil basics. Is that a challenge? Of course we could play all foil cards without foil basics. You just don't put basic lands in your deck, chat. Duh. Did I get all the foils? We do not have all the foils. People donated for a lot of them, though. Ash CM, thank you for the 3-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Love tap, baby, love tap. Do 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 do. All the foils is about $800. Well, that's probably I probably have about half of them then at this point, because I had like $75 worth of gems, or a little bit less than half. I had like $75 worth of gems on my account, and then I put in $215 today, so I got like $300 worth of foils. Contempt is great here. Cosmetics. I put in $215 today. Cry of the Carnarium's great. Contempt is great. Chat ponied up for most of it, to be fair. I splurged on a couple here at the end to get the last 2 guild packs, but people were cheering and donating to get specific cosmetics for most of the day. Man, what do I want to cut here? Fine Finality is probably not super useful. Do I trim Hydroid Krasis at my top end because I just don't need that much grind in this matchup? I probably just want to, like, have removal and then, like, beat them down. Extra cast down might be okay, too. This might be cutting too many Krasis. Is Harpooner good here? I guess it kills Drakes. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff that kills Drakes here. Getting dizzy from watching your deck move around. There's a lot of movement on screen for sure. I think I'm gonna keep this. It's got double Growth Chamber Guardian, which is a little bit awkward, and it's missing green. Let's play Catch and Release. This hand's not great, but it's fine. Fallen Bowser, thank you very much for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine this month. My opponent put me on the play. God bless, I guess. Need to mulligan this one too. Too many ugly cards. I bottomed that, right? Alright, just checking. I kind of want more lands to curve out to Vivien. Look at her head. Look at her head poking in. That's gotta be a bug, right? Can someone clip this and say, like, that just ain't right. It's in a loop. We're in a time loop. We're in a time loop. Oh no, time loop. She's actually upside down above a pool of water. Alright. I'm in for some Jadelight. I would like some black sources, please. Perfect. Yeah, I think most of them have the art mirrored at the top. It's just this one moves really far down for some reason, making it a little bit awkward. Perfect. Full art Planeswalkers, best Planeswalkers, chat. I got a miscut. Full art Vivien. This is worth real dollars. Just like in real life, if you spend a little money, you can create the illusion of depth. Oh, it cuts so true. It cuts so very true. I didn't put any squawks in here, nope. No birds this turn is really good for us, so they could ditch some off this discovery, I assume. Spawn's actually not a terrible rip here.
You can't stop nature.
Our fun of Hydroid Krasis. Let's start with this, I think. I think I'm gonna hold on to Krasis until I have a little bit more lands in play. That can stay right there. When we get to the 100% foil deck, I'm sure we'll look back and laugh at the times we called White-Black Angels expensive. I wonder if White-Black Angels, we should try and build most foil mythic stock deck. That would be the real dollar reduce. I wonder how many of the cards in the 4-color Flyers deck come in foil. Come to me. One Jadelight Ranger, please. Woo! Next turn we get to Krasis as a large Mamma Jamma. They need to pressure my Vivien. Oh, you know what? This is wrong. I shouldn't have attacked with Merfolk Branchwalker because I want to give myself the best chance to ult Vivien next turn. If they have a shock here for Jadelight, they can attack Vivien down. How long have you been playing Sultai Aggro for? Just getting started, Nisha. It's gonna be our last deck of the day. How shocked is this Vivien Reid? Or would you rather kill my spawn? Alright. I suppose they could have a... They could have the mind control card here. Maybe mind control kills us. Because mind control, this is a 6/6 and it gets to block my other things. Entrancing Melody is the card I'm referring to, that I was blanking on the name of. I was referring to as mind control. Full art memes and post-work streams. What's going on, Punisher Dumpster? Thanks for the 4-month resub there. I really appreciate you sending your Prime this way this month. Welcome, welcome. We're having a fantastic Wednesday. Well, Hydroid Krasis is the best flampler around here, so they're probably still dead here. I believe they are, in fact, just dead, right? Even if they bring back another bird, they have to, like, block both my ground pounders and put 4 toughness in front of the Hydroid Krasis. Lol. Bye, friends. Let me just kick you while you're down, shall we? Thought your non-foil cards could keep up with my beautiful foil cards. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. If you're a new viewer, thanks for dropping in. I stream Magic full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing constructed 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you enjoy standard best of 3 with sideboards, this is definitely a channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here and usually change decks every 60 to 90 minutes, so you get a lot of variety. As always, I'd like to give a shout out to my wonderful subs out there. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. This stream is sponsored by all of them, as well as some of these wonderful people here. These folks are great. Make sure you check out and buy their stuff. These folks also wonderful. Buy their stuff. Late night shows are shorter. Remember, if you are a new viewer and you're dropping in and you enjoy what you see, be sure to hit that follow button. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything. Lets you know when I go live and with what. I also archive absolutely everything I stream to my YouTube channel, so you can catch up later after the fact if you can't catch me live. Past that, if you want to see what kind of sweet variety we have coming up on stream, you can check out the deck queue link down below or head on over to my website. Find videos as well as links to all of the decks that are going to be coming up on stream later on. This hand is actually pretty reasonable against mono blue. I think our better hands against mono blue with this deck likely involve fast Wildgrowth Walker starts, which this hand is definitely going to be capable of doing. So I get these walkers down and go exploring. Baby Krasis as a 2/2 is going to be something that's very reasonable in this matchup as well. I'm going to prioritize getting this shock land into play tapped rather than using the rather than getting one in for 1 point with the Land War Elves. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done a really long one like this. I feel I need to just remember to order meals when I do long streams like this. They're not bad at all when I remember to eat. If they don't play a second land this turn, or a third land, sorry, we're probably going to run away with this game via Wildgrowth Walker and Explore Creatures. If they have a counter spell up this turn, we could be in a little bit of trouble. That's a wonderful draw. So I'm going to lead on this Wildgrowth Walker. And they only have 1 creature counter here, so they're going to have to choose between countering this or countering the follow-up Explore Creature. Looks like they're going to choose to counter the follow-up Explore Creature. How'd we do? It was really bad, Brian. It was basic. The deck was not good. Alright, old Tricky Dick here. This is going to go ahead and diddle my Wildgrowth Walker, which means it's not... Oh, ha. Do I keep this? I have 2 more Explore Creatures in my hand. I think I keep this. So, by trickstering this in response to the Explore trigger, they denied me the Wildgrowth Walker trigger because I wiped the text off of it. So this did not get a counter, and it gained me 3 less life. Well, I do appreciate the view, Brian. The legacy stuff does tend to struggle to get views. Not the most popular formats. This one. Man, if they have a counterspell here, they really should not counterspell this. Yeah, I think this is a mistake on my opponent's part. This Wildgrowth Walker doesn't matter if I don't have another Explorer creature. And if I do have another Explorer creature, these ones are still going to dumpster them. So I think with that counterspell there, they're probably supposed to let this resolve and then save the counter for this. The hotfix was for a server-side issue. Didn't actually impact anything for those of us playing. Or any, didn't add features, I guess I should say. It fixed an issue you could have hit that was a server-side problem. There was no client update. Going on a safari. Oh, should have attacked with that too. Should have just hit the attack with all button. That was a mistake. We're down 3 points of damage now, which could end up really mattering. Our opponent is a little bit obsessed with trying to figure out how to win this game. We'd really like to draw another Merfolk Branchwalker next turn, so that way I can go Branchwalker into Jadelight Ranger, because they can't counter 2 creatures next turn. If we draw an Spawn of Mayhem is interesting, huh? So I can only play one spell here. Spawn of Mayhem's kind of a must counter for them, right? I think I want to lead on that. I suppose if I Krasis and draw a 5th land for next turn I could Jadelight plus Spawn. Yeah, I'm actually going to baby Krasis, because this is technically a 3-drop once we hit them. Perfect. And if this resolves, it still blocks these, which is good enough for us. Yeah, like that's fine. Oh, you know what? There's a chance I should attack before I play that, because they could have another Tricky Dick. I'm intentionally leaving this back this turn, because if they have a Merfolk Trickster, I don't want them to flash it in, tap this, double block this one. Jadelight could find a land, but I think it's incredibly unlikely that if the one creature that I played resolved this turn. I was kind of surprised that it did. So, like, obviously if my spells are resolving, I play Jadelight and they just don't beat me gaining 12. But I thought it was kind of unlikely that my spell resolved that turn. I assume they're going to attack with this. If they don't attack with this, both their Curious Obsessions fall off. I think they're supposed to offer this trade here. They're probably too far gone with the Jadelight in my hand anyways, but I think they're supposed to offer that trade. Cast Down is great. Harpooner's great. Trophy's great. Duress is fine. I don't think this is a cry matchup. Vivien Reid and Fine Finality are both slow. Is Hostage Taker slow? I think Hostage Taker's too slow. I kind of just want to take my curve and drag it down. Justin Mack, thank you for the 36 months of support. Welcome to the Landholders of Hoaglandia. The map for your sub icon will guide you to the land you now own. Trim the 4th Spawn of Mayhem here. I think I trimmed the 4th Spawn of Mayhem here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. We are still, Angrath is like, he's like my spirit walker. He's just like super miffed. He's coming for you. This hand's fine. I don't know that it's amazing, but fine is definitely passable. It's a little unfortunate that 3/7 of it is non-foil, but it's just the cards we've been dealt. It's got turn 1 Land War Elves. Correct. This is Sultai mid-range with Spawn and Growth Chamber Guardian. An apt description. I'm just going to make them have it here. Once they get to untap, they have even more cards that protect it. Yeah! Fist bump! Got Scary Terry. Get out of here. Nobody loves you, Terry. Take your obsessions and leave. Head to the spade. Entrancing Melody, my Land War Elves. Man, if we'd have gotten to hit him with that, we'd have gotten Spawn this turn. That'd have been real good. Brody, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way. Is it Browdy? It might be Browdy and not Brody. At any rate, I appreciate the support. Thanks for keeping me around. Create quite the spectacle over here. Interesting that they powered up Scary Terry here. That means they won't be able to adapt him down the line. Alright. If we can dodge a counter spell, we can dodge a ball next turn. Spawn gets into play and blocks Terry nicely, which is great. Well, I appreciate you dropping in the drop off the Prime. As a good note for people in general, a lot of people watch my stuff on my off time and my YouTube too. If you're one of my regular YouTube watchers, one of the millions of people in the world who has Amazon Prime, I don't have to be live for you to drop your Prime off. So if you want an easy way to support your content that comes free with your Prime subscription, feel free to drop on into my channel and Prime sub while I'm offline too. I really appreciate the folks that do that. Full Flame, thanks for cashing in those Bezo bucks and paying a chunk of my mortgage this month. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, that's unfortunate. That is, like, I was really excited when this spawn resolved. Now not so much anymore. Equinox, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna put the other spawn in on the play. Let's just run him down. Let's run him down. B, aggressive. B-E, aggressive. Do. Needed like one more piece of action there. If that Land War Elf we drew on the last turn had been like a Hydroid Krasis we could have pulled back in potentially. Would have been a real big flyer. Real big flampler. This hand's pretty reasonable. Now when people ask me why I led on the Woodland Cemetery and not a basic, instead of saying it didn't matter, I can say it's because I wanted to put my foil on the table. It's like, B, what's up, opponent? These are my foil cards. Yeah, I kind of inclined to agree, Punchworthy. We played Elfless. We played Elfless the other night, and it felt pretty reasonable. Yeah, the Bant Vanafear League the other day was an ASMR league. Alright, do you have Essence Capture? Nope. Wow, super punished for not playing the Trickster out. Or the premium basic lands. Not as of yet. I believe they want to have a land selector in the client before they do premium basics, but don't quote me on that. And this game's gonna be a great example of one of the ways you can beat mono blue, which is we don't beat them by interacting with them a lot of the time. We beat them just by racing them. Like, we just had a great proactive draw here on the start, and we're just gonna put a lot of power into playing in the game. So this is gonna turn into a 4/4 next turn, get another creature that's gonna turn into a 4/4 down the line. Block. Almost to 3, but here's to 2 months, Mr. Napper. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Welcome. Good to see you here this evening. Like, this puts them down to 11, and like I'm gonna be attacking with 2 4/4s next turn and like casting another 4/4. Their biggest threats outside of Scary Terry being popped off are like Tempest Shin. Gisney, welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Prime this way this month. I appreciate it. They have like a dive down to save their Trickster here. They're saving Wildgrowth Walker, sure. I mean, Growth Chamber Guardian isn't really looking for a home in the format so much anymore. Like, there's the Gruul Aggro deck's been having fantastic results. And it's been doing well in that shell. I think I'm gonna play this Walker rather than play this Growth Chamber Guardian, because it feels like they're holding up a counterspell here. I'd much rather this Wildgrowth Walker get countered than. Essence Capture is a great counterspell for them to have here, because it means that their Wildgrowth Walker gets to bounce with my Growth Chamber Guardian now, which is a big deal. Yeah, Simic Climb, Teamer Climb, those decks that we've played a little bit of. Know my way around those ones. This is 6, so I can play, activate, and play the next. So I'm just going to smash with everything here. If they want to eat this and take 9, that's fine. The Gates deck just fall off the face of the earth. No, I think the Gates deck is pretty good still. We played it on stream somewhat recently. Updated the list on my website. I think it needed to adapt to the more aggressive format a little bit, but our last set of update seemed reasonable for it. Do I want to play this Growth Chamber Guardian out into a counterspell? I don't think I do. I think there's no reason to. I think I just pass. Just like my last piece of action, there's no reason to jam it. Can we add these points to the modern meme of my choice? We totally can, I rate ya. Thank you for the 5 months, the very generous tier 3 resub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Pretty easy mulligan here. And for those of you that are newer to Magic, the reason why we're mulliganing this hand is because it has 2 ugly cards instead of 7 pretty ones. See, look at that! Look at that! Mulliganed right into 6 pretty cards. It was a perfect mulligan. So it might be a little greedy to keep this Jadelight on top without a second green source, but hopefully this Merfolk Branchwalker is going to propel us into a second green source, and then this will curve us out into more lands to play the Krasis. Another blue matchup, okay. They're missing a land, God bless. That was like the worst draw in our deck because it's a land that's not a green source. It's also not foil. Vomit. Perfect. When we London mulligan, we can intentionally mulligan the cards that aren't foil. That's just fantastic. That's just good, clean strategy right there. This is definitely going to be a match of dumping Baby Krasis into play. Almost certainly playing a 2/2 Krasis next turn unless we find like a spawn. I don't think I'm in the market for that. I think I'm looking for spawn. Yep. We also notably have 6 power in play now, so even if my opponent counters my spells for the rest of the game, there's a good chance that like the life gain from Krasis and my 6 points in play are going to allow me to race what they have going on. If they leave up mana here, I might just play Krasis for 2. I am running super late today, Teach War. This is going to be my last day doing Standard this week with the Mythic Invitational happening starting tomorrow through Sunday. So I'll be doing a little bit of Modern tomorrow and Friday, but then I'm going to be taking off. Taking off till Monday for Standard, as far as Standard's concerned. I wonder if we might see them trade here. I think I'm just going to play a Krasis. I think whatever I play here, they're pretty obligated to counterspell, just because all of them block. So I think if they're going to counterspell regardless, I might as well play this one and draw a card and gain a life. Really? Okay, do they have a tricky deck? Okay, so they have Trickster, so they're going to diddle this and then smack me next turn. But again, like, they're at 12 and I'm at 15, and they're only hitting me for 5, like maybe 6 at most if they have another Obsession. Trousers! Cashing in that Twitch Prime. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. You're going to leave Krasis back here. Are they going to take this trade this turn? I think they should have taken this trade last turn, honestly. I'm just gonna go pick my friends up here. Getting Spell Pierce there feels a little bit bad, but we're like never resolving Finality through a Spell Pierce, so I'm not sure it really matters. They topped a card, that's a little scary. They have another Obsession here that'd be bad for us, because then this attacks through the Krasis. That's unfortunate. I think I chump block here. This chump block is, well, this chump block is no longer an option. So we're going to take 5, go to 6, and they're going to draw a bunch of cards here. We do have them dead in 2 to the Jadelight Ranger. Let's do this before I make a decision. Pretty poor chance that this resolves, them having so many cards. Alright. Dude, so they didn't have a counter. Do you have a third Merfolk Trickster, is the question. If they have third Merfolk Trickster, I guess I still have Krasis. They need, like, Trickster plus Bounce Spell. If they can get both my creatures out of the way, they can kill me, but I think it's right to pressure them here. Especially with the 4/4 flyer. Like, if they don't take the chump block here, this is lethal on the backswing on its own. Oh, just Trickster's lethal. I'm dumb. Just Trickster's lethal because yeah. Like, I like how they tinked there. It's like, no plays. Yeah, that was bad on my part. Was not thinking about the fact that I was at 6. Gonna drag our curve down here again. That was the last one. They not bringing all the Duresses. Yeah. kind of surprised we've hit mono blue twice in a row with this. Mono blue's kind of fallen out of favor. I feel like this might be the first time we played it today. I'm gonna sit down for the last leg of the stream here. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of anecdotal evidence, right? Like I don't have large data sets with good sample sizes. So anecdotally, we've not been playing against a lot of mono blue on stream. Is it translates to when I say it's fallen out of favor. Yeah, this build of Sultai definitely feels like it has more play against mono blue than a lot of other ones, just because of, like, having more flying blockers is a big deal. I think Growth Chamber Guardian is very important in this matchup, too, because Growth Chamber Guardian lets us generate more draws where we just attack them a bunch. I don't know that I'm sold on Land War Elves in this build, honestly. Do not know that I'm sold on these Land War Elves. And so if they Obsession here, my Spawn guaranteed resolves. Do I just jam a Spawn of Mayhem? Yes, definitely. How do I have all the cool looking of cards? Through the power of the most powerful card in Magic, your credit card, all of the foils and pretty cards can be unlocked for you as well. Yep. Yep. So, need to draw some action here, and now they rip the Obsession. Yep. So need Hydroid Krasis, another Spawn, maybe spot removal depending on what their hand looks like here. Krasis or Spawn would be ideal draws here. A land, probably dead. We're losing the race at the moment, right? They're losing the race and they're drawing 2 cards per turn. It's interesting to think about, like, what if this Land War Elves had been a spell that had a text box in this game? Like, what if instead of just, like, being elves, it had been, like, an impactful card? And it's kind of funny to think about that, too, because earlier we had some people commenting on the fact that it felt like you had to play Land War Elves in every green deck, and I really just don't think that's true. I think there's plenty. I think in the more aggressively slanted green decks, even this deck's kind of aggressively slanted. The fact that, like, the 3-drop we're trying to play is Spawn of Mayhem makes Elves a lot worse, though. Like, the curve of the deck that you're playing is a big consideration whether or not you want Land War Elves. Seeker Squire, maybe. I wonder if this build would be on board for playing some Incubation Incongruity. I don't hate that card. This build of Sultai with Growth Chamber and Spawn has a lot of creatures in it. So I can see, like, some Incubation Incongruity being good and, like, maybe some other spell. How much did I spend getting all the pretty cards? I've dumped probably 300 or so into cosmetics that you see so far. I had a bunch of gems on my account already, and then I bought like a little over 200 more today. I think I'm just gonna cast this down. Maybe I should save this for a hostage taker. Might be right to save this for a hostage taker. I don't know. I could see a right just go like Breeding Pool tap, play Elf there. Another hand where Elf's not looking to do a whole lot. Yeah, the flexibility on Incongruity is really good. I was really impressed with that card. It could be that maybe this deck wants to play Climb as well. I could see that being a thing that it wants to do. Maybe it just feels bad. Well, it definitely feels bad because it's not foil, but I think it's bad past that. I really don't love Duress in the main deck in this format. Some Harpooners in the main deck could be okay. They could be like a couple of Incubation, Incongruity, a couple of Harpooners. So this deck right now has 30 creatures in it. So if I cut these, that would be 26 creatures. So if I replace them with like 2 Incubation and 2 Elves, that would be 28 creatures, which is probably fine. I'm just going to cut the Elves. They've been real bad. Just gonna board them out here. They're low card quality in the mirror match as well. Maybe I don't want a bunch of cast downs, although they're pretty important to kill Hostage Taker. So, like, Incubation is a creature in a way, but I'm talking about the creature count specifically because in order to play Incubation, you need a certain threshold of creatures in your deck so you don't miss when you're looking at your top 5 too often. Generally speaking, you want like 26 plus creatures in your deck so you don't miss that often with Incubation. Because like paying 1 mana to put 5 cards at the bottom of your deck is not a good scene. I forget exactly what the hypergeometric distribution says offhand. It's been a while since I've looked at those numbers, but I think I remember looking at it when I was playing a lot of Climb and thinking 26 was where I wanted to be. So 20, more than 26 is fine. Sure, 7 foil cards. Let's do it. It's just Ancient Story. Man, if that card could get lands, it would just be a 4 of in every green or blue deck, which is probably why it doesn't get lands. This doesn't talk just specifically about 3-color mana bases, but just mana bases in general. Yeah, that's one of the reasons the Incubation just ties all of your creatures more consistently together, right? So like against the aggressive decks, you find your Walker package more often. Against the control decks, you find your Krasis more often. Just like it increases the virtual count of all of your creatures that matter, depending on which ones you care about. I could see Chupacabra being okay. It could be that, like, because this deck wants to be more aggressive and it's using its mana with things like Growth Chamber Guardian, that maybe Chupacabra is even better than Hostage Taker. What's going on, Ebok? Welcome to the tail end. About another half hour, 45 minutes with this one. That's a fantastic card to have on top of my deck. This is this card is such a fantastic curve filler too, because like it's a 2-drop that gives you something to do with your mana on 3, and in the late game like this, it's a 5-drop that draws another card. It's like a 4/4 for 5 that draws a copy of itself. It's quite fantastic. Why are we using removal spells aggressively here? Seems weird to me. Strange timing on the cast down there. They're trying to play around like Frilled Mystic or something. But like, you know, I'm probably playing Growth Chamber Guardian next turn. So like, I'm not going to have Frilled Mystic up. So I'm going to play this Growth Chamber Guardian out, but I'm not going to aggressively activate it, because again, I would prefer to activate it in response to removal spells, that way it can replace itself. In fact, if my opponent just passes the turn without targeting this, I'm not going to activate it. I'm just going to go to my turn and play my 6th land, so that way if they kill it in response to the activation later, I can double activate it. If you adapt it, they go to kill it, you can adapt it again in response, then go get your thing. Hostage Taker, sure. So this goes and gets me a friend. Why can't we be friends? We are wonderful friends. Do 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 do. And then they're going to replay it, and then I'm going to Hostage Taker and get my Crabman back. Set my people free. This Growth Chamber Guardian's going to need some counseling. He's been through some stuff. Been traded around. Very popular crab. The fact that they traded their Hostage Taker there makes me think they don't have a Finality, because if they did have a Finality, they could save it with that. Yep. So far, they were the first to Krasis, so we're getting outground a little bit here. Looking for a squid or a Vivien of our own. That's not good enough. That one's good enough. Pinky, thank you for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Oh, I think you need a space between your emotes and your cheer there, Greg. We can definitely get Narcissic Cannon back in there, though, if you want. Oh, that's a good observation from Degors. I should have played the crab from my hand, because if they killed my Hostage Taker, I own the crab that's under it, so I would get it back. That is an A+ observation. Carlos, thank you for the Prime support. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Alright, don't stroke me.
I didn't live through hell to lose to you.
Fantastic, Greg. I wonder if they have a trophy. Yep. So their timing on the trophy is a little bit bad here, because the timing on the trophy lets me know that I don't need to protect my Planeswalker, so it gives me the thumbs up to make this attack this turn, whereas if I think my Vivien might be living, I'm not attacking with it. That block seems a little aggressive there, or defensive, considering they could Hostage Taker my Jadelight and then trigger their Wildgrowth Walker next turn, so that seems pretty good for me. I'm just gonna go Growth Chamber here. If I upgrade my Prime sub to a tier 2, does that immediately free up my Prime? I don't know, Sharps. I don't think so. But I'm not sure on the details on that. Woof. Their last card is Finality. I guess this board getting Finality is probably similar to them picking Krasis back up, so that's kind of a wash for me, it feels like. If I play this, they actually can't Hostage Taker and play it unless they draw an untapped land. Thanks, Carlos. Yeah, there was an update this morning that added the cosmetic cards for full arts, or premiums, whatever you want to call them. Time you out. We live to please. All right, one removal spell, please. It's a good chance that's the game. I guess we could rip a Hydroid Krasis and be right back in it, huh? Or find Finality or a Hostage Taker of our own. Oh, could they have spectacled it? I think you're right that they could have spectacled this. One Hostage Taker, please. Alright. On to game the third. Game the third. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded here. How many timeouts you're at? Roku, you have 31 timeouts. So, like, this hand obviously needs a land, but if it draws an untapped land on 2, it's very good. And if it hits it by 3, it's, like, pretty reasonable. So I think this is a keep. How many lands are in this build, by the way? Is it only 24? We were talking about cutting the elves. I think if you cut the elves, you probably want more lands. Yeah, 25th land's probably not a terrible idea in this deck. We were talking about other things the elves could be too. This deck could also maybe want to play main deck Thought Erasure. That card's pretty reasonable. Yeah, Incubation and Conjure would probably be what I try first, though. The fact that they drew a land here is actually really good for me, because it means I get to attack with this. And if they block, I eat their thing. And if they don't block, I get to put Spawn of Mayhem into play. So do I put Spawn into play here, or do I cast Jadelight Ranger? I probably want to just hit my land drop, huh? That's probably what I want to do. That's unfortunate. Oh, magic. Oh, magic. Why you gotta do me dirty like that? No blocks. Do you have a 5th land in hand already? Please, Bennett. Please, Bennett. Yeah, that's good for me. Okay. I think I'm actually just gonna pass and trade off aggressively here in combat. Especially with this find in my hand. Actually, if they attack with everything, I'm just gonna eat one of these. Actually, I'm just gonna do this and trade. And then next turn I can like play two things. Yeah, this seems fine. I don't think I want to take another hit here with these spawns in my hand. I need health total to get these spawns going. I guess this is loose if they have removal. Regular size Jesse, thank you for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I boarded out a Wildgrowth Walker in this matchup. That was probably wrong. Yeah, we stumbled a little bit here, but I think my lines were bad. I think I should have left up. I think I should have put that land into play tapped and left up a cast down this turn. Vraska's Contempt's a good draw. These are basically dead though, until I find a Wildgrowth Walker and Explorer creature. I guess this pulls me up a little bit. Hopefully they just keep missing on land drops and can't do anything. They have a fine Finality here. They're gonna put another Merfolk Branchwalker back into play. I think I misassessed my role this game, and I was trying to get too much value out of my cards, and I'm gonna end up just getting beat down while trying to get value. Yeah, they're gonna unstumble here. Just be a little bit too far ahead for me. I'm just gonna hope to get lucky here. Gonna leave myself to do a removal spell. What bundles did I get? Yes. I think this deck wants another land. Awkward. All right, so let's talk about this deck. So we've been talking a lot about Land War Elves. And I want you to, like, look at the curve of this deck as we talk about Land War Elves here. Land War Elves helps you get to, like, your 3, 4s, and 5s sooner. But, like, if you look at the casting costs of cards in this deck, I don't really have cards that cost that. And this, while Spawn is basically a 3-drop, it's not a 3-drop off of Land War Elf on turn 2, right? Because this can't attack and cast it. I think if I were to try this, I think I want to try some Incubation. I think this card's really sweet. I wouldn't mind a touch more removal in the main deck anyways. This card adds a lot of consistency to find your 2s and 3s more often. I think I would go up a land here. What does my blue count look like? My blue count is 6, 11. My black count... Honestly, well, cutting a forest, cutting the Land War Elves probably means I can cut a forest and go up a Hinterland Harbor, and then probably go up a Memorial to Folly. This leaves me on, this is 15, 16, 17, and then on black, it leaves me with 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Do you ever want 4 spawns? I don't know if I dislike 4 spawns. Yeah, maybe that's fair. They do gum up a little bit on occasion. I don't hate that. I do think Chupa. We played a split of Chupacabras in the other build, and that felt pretty reasonable. Foil Drowned Catacomb strictly better than Hinterland Harbor. You're probably not wrong. Yeah, I think I'd probably try something close to this. Spawn did some reasonable stuff. The mono blue matchup is probably pretty close to reasonable for this build. I might want a second Harpooner in here just to shore that up a little bit. You could see that being reasonable as well. So, I think that's going to go ahead and be it for me for today. We're going for about 11 and a half hours here. As always, thanks everyone for watching. Remember, if you want more content from myself, head on over to my website and my YouTube channel for lots of fantastic stuff streaming in both of those places. I will not be streaming more Standard this week. I will be back with Standard on Monday around 9 a.m. Central Standard Time is when we shift over to Standard. I should be live with some Modern tomorrow and Friday on Magic Online. If you want some more Standard stuff, be sure to check out the Duo Standard stuff that's going to be going on twitch.tv/magic at the Mythic Invitational. Everybody have a good evening. If you want to stay out here on Twitch rather than check out some of my YouTube stuff, I'm going to find someone who's live right now doing Constructed to send you over that way. Well, looks like Marty's on. Is he playing Magic? I'm going to send you over to Marty.